Good afternoon, everyone. This is Amy of AJC Magic TV. I hope most of you guys are enjoying your days, not going stir crazy or anything like that. Just checking in, saying hello. Hope you're having a great day. I know for me, for me, not a bad day, pretty busy with work and different things. Sorry about the camera. It's just a little off. Figure I'd go live, finish up a Disney tag that I got, or a channel and myself tag. Answer 15 questions about you and your Disney YouTube channel. Thanks to Charlie of the Disney Nerders. Giving it, I did the first 5 questions before. I can just give a little recap as possibly people join in on the chat. So others are jumping on periodically because they're sitting at home or just, hey, let's do a live chat. I know at 5 p.m. it's Dreaming with the Mouse with This Our Dreams and Myers and the Mouse and their program. Hello, Penguin Master. How are you today? Hello, anybody else who has joined the chat? Hello, Penguin Master. How was your day? How's Penny doing? Hello, Zippity Doodad. Hi. Yes, I pretty much try to be. I'm just at home, pulled into my driveway, and picking up a couple of prescriptions before I head home. I pretty much stay home most of the day, or most of the evening anyway. I don't head out anywhere once I'm home. I do work in an area that is pretty remote in our building. Yeah, thank you. And they have put on a lot of restrictions about no delivery of food. If you want food, you have to go out and get it and order it as takeout because most of the restaurants became takeout restaurants. And they won't let us use the coffee makers, microwaves, and various other things. Lots of hand sanitizer, lots of wipes, and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, so you pretty much, you're brown bagging it, but it has to be food that you can eat cold. Hello, Donna Reed. Love, how are you today? The dogs are good. They love having us around. Yes, they'll get used to you having around. That's the one thing Chloe, since I'm not at home, she's not getting used to me being home. I don't know. Part of me would be, I've been home. I had to be home a few years ago after surgery. And I know it's very hard to go back to work. And I thought about, boy, if our company decides to shut down because of something really bad. Hello, T-Tom, Mary Ellen. Thank you for joining. It would be very hard for me to want to go back to work. So right now I'm kind of glad I'm still employed and not having to, take off or anything like that at this point. So, but a lot of businesses, if they can work at home, they're doing that, or they're limited in their people. I do work for a company though that is part of it's semi-necessity and part of it there's different divisions. So, but they're there for the public. But I will go ahead and start the tag. It was answer 15 questions about you and your Disney channel. the first few questions asked when you started your YouTube channel. I started in about 2017, like the spring. Happened to follow a few people, and then that's how I started picking up all the other channels. Jen of AJC Emporium. She was with another channel at one point, and then after something had gone wrong between her and that particular thing, she went on her own. But once you hit into the YouTube area, it suggests different people, and of course, picking up Resort TV 1, Corey Meets World, Chris Spokesman. I watched him for a little while. I watch him off and on. But I mainly like Corey Meets World, and of course Resort TV 1, and then Mouse Talk. I still watch Jen of AJC Emporium, just all different people. Sometimes I could drive myself nuts because I'll have 3 different devices sometimes going, because depending on where people are on certain nights in different parks, or sometimes like Jen at AJC Emporium might be in Orlando at the Universal, and somebody else might be at the Magic Kingdom or something. So I live in Pennsylvania. I live more on the western side of Pennsylvania. There's eastern side where Philadelphia is, but I'm on the western side, if that's where you're asking. Hello, Disney Nerders. How are you today? I had started the tag a couple days ago on a quick after work stream, and I was on number 5. I was just kind of giving an overview. Oh, you're welcome. I'm not sure where you're from, Donna Reed, but that's where I'm from. Yeah, it just seems like different people hopping in and out. I'm not sure if anybody else is live. I just kind of went live. That's probably why it's a little slow. Okay, you're from Canada. Yeah, I am probably about 5 hours from the Ontario area of Canada. I am going to go ahead and continue the tag. Like I said, I started my YouTube channel in about 2017. When did your love of Disney start? When I was... Okay, thank you, Charlie. Yeah, I just finished work. Decided to sit there and chat in my car before heading home and heading in for the evening. I know Did Our Dreams and Myers and the Mouse will have their Dreaming with the Mouse show at 5 p.m. Hello, Samantha Carpin. Thank you for joining. But I'm going to go ahead and continue with the 15 questions about you and your Disney Channel YouTube channel. I had already done the first 5. So the next one is, what do your loved ones think of your love of Disney? Most of them all know that I love Disney. And some of them are big Disney fans just as much as I am. The only thing for them is they're not really, they watch YouTube stuff, but they're not really into wanting to get involved with YouTube. Hello, This Our Dreams. Thank you for joining. But, and I'm also careful when I'm with them in the parks. A lot of my trips are solo trips. At times where I meet other people and friends that live in the area. And sometimes it's family trips. When it's family trips, they ask not to be part of being filmed. If they're filmed, it's because they walked in front of the camera while I'm walking around. I try to keep my distance. They might be sitting in front of me on a ride or something, but I usually try to keep the camera away from them, just for their own privacy, not wanting to be on the stream. but they know I do it. A couple of them do participate in it, whether they help me with the cameras or different things. Hello, Lena. Paper, scissors, and vacation. Oh my! I was just doing a tag called the 15 questions about you and your Disney Channel. I had started 5 of them last week at the beginning of the week, and I'm just continuing on to finish up the tag. I got the tag from Charlie of Disney Nerd Herders. So I do thank him. I like doing tags because it does give you conversation pieces. I know everybody knows I like to do trivia. That has always been an interest of mine, doing trivia and different things. So, gonna try to come up with some different ways of how to do trivia. Maybe put up a panel and those people, like put Justin or Disney, Jared, and Jeff on there, or maybe my top 3 or 4 people that can make it a little bit fun and interesting, or just have conversation. The next question is, what is your earliest Disney memory? Hello, just another Disney. My earliest Disney memory, probably growing up as a kid, it was more watching the wonderful world of Disney or the world of color. Most of the time, I remember like when they would open the show, you would see, no problem. Hello, Deborah Reed. They would show scenes from Disneyland. I remember I remember like seeing the teacups and the flying Dumbos at Disneyland. I knew I never got to go to the Magic Kingdom as a kid because that was the only park whenever I was younger. And then when I was a teenager, was the first time we went, and that was the first year that Epcot had opened for the year. That was the first summer Epcot had opened, and going there, I was hooked. I was even more hooked because I couldn't wait to go. I had cousins that got to go to the Magic Kingdom, and then different people I knew would used to go because they had grandparents that lived down there, and they talked about the e-ticket books and all of that stuff. I'll have to find it, and some of our old tickets for a 3-day park hopper, it was like less than $100 to go for, well, you got Epcot and the Magic Kingdom for 3 days, pretty cheap. Just the Polynesian and the Contemporary, they were starting to build the Grand Floridian in somewhere in that time, because I remember when I was a cast member, I know the Grand Floridian was there, Caribbean Beach Resort, and of course the Polynesian and Contemporary, and then they built the Swan and Dolphin, and then we actually stayed in the Dolphin Hotel right after it opened. They had a great special to stay there. So we went and stayed there. And at that point, you knew it wasn't a Disney hotel, but at the same time, they treated you just like you were in a Disney resort, because you got the transportation, and they used to take you to Epcot on one of those little like tram cars. That's why like the International Gateway for the longest time had that little pavilion area now where the Skyliner is. But you used to ride that through, actually along where the actual boardwalk was, because they were building the Yacht and Beach Club. And so they took you on the tram that way, and then, or you can take the boats and the buses. But we actually stayed at the Swan and Dolphin, and then we did stay at the Yacht and the Beach Club whenever we went down as a family for our first official on-site trip. And of course, when we stayed at the Beach Club, it's what it costs now, basically, to stay at the value store or moderate on a sale. Who is your favorite Disney villain, princess, and character? I would say Cinderella is probably my favorite princess. I don't really have a total favorite princess, but Cinderella always seemed to be one that I kind of draw more to. I'm not saying the other ones aren't that good or anything like that, but I don't have a specific princess. With the villains, that's kind of hard too, because I don't really have a totally favorite villain. I like Captain Hook, probably because I like the story Peter Pan. And so I would probably have to go with Captain Hook. But a lot of those villains are pretty good. Some can be scarier, some can be more evil. And then there's a couple that, yeah, they're considered a villain, but to me, they didn't, it's like, well, they're not too villainous in a sense. Like people would say Gaston's kind of a villain. I don't know, to me, just like a jerky boyfriend or some cocky guy or whatever that, trying to get the hot girl or whatever. My favorite character is, of course, Mickey Mouse. There are other characters I do like. I like Tigger. But, of course, Mickey Mouse, Tigger. So those are probably two of the favorites. But I like most of the characters. But, of course, the big cheese, Mickey Mouse. What Disney character do you relate yourself to the most? I never really thought about that too much. Yeah, it's hard to say. Because I never really thought about that or even thinking. And it probably just depends on what mood or what type of thing. Sometimes, though, like Jiminy Cricket's more of a conscious type person. I kind of think about something before I do it. So, but I've never really thought about that too much. Probably I like Tigger because he likes to really be energetic and bounce around. So that could be part of my characteristics. Do you share your love of Disney outside of your YouTube community? Yes. Yes, I do. I have friends who aren't part of the YouTube community. They all know I like Disney. I respect their choices of whether they enjoy going to the park or not, or going to Disney World in general. They may like the characters. If anything, I'm finding out more of my friends are becoming they are Disney fans and enjoy going or doing the cruises or something. But, I respect the other people that may have gone once and said, oh, we enjoyed it. We don't really care for the big crowds. We'd rather go sit on the beach and read or go play golf or something like that. But I respect everyone with their own vacation decisions. I feel I get a good value when I go to Disney. Right now I'm an annual pass holder. I was a couple years in the making, and some of the trips where I just bought a ticket. They go back and forth. And so it just varies on the trips. How has the overall experience of being a Disney YouTuber been so far? I would probably say most of the time it seems to be pretty good. Met a lot of different people, and made different friends. Also learning about the parks even a lot more than what I know, or seeing the parks a lot more and trying different things in the parks. I know, one of the big things that was fun. It was fun, I know, meeting up at the parks when the Beverly Challenge was going on. That was fun, meeting all different types of people who love Disney. and know different ins and outs, whether they live in Orlando and gone to Disney all their lives, or people like me who go once or twice a year, or some people that live up here that have maybe one of the vacation clubs, or just likes to go to Disney a lot and likes to run or whatever. Um, it's pretty good. I know being a cast member that had helped playing in the parks. That was in the early 90s. Um, and then visiting as a family on vacation a few years later. So just meeting all different types of people, learning about the parks and also the areas, and also meeting with different people, whether it's in your hometown or your home state, or when you go down to Orlando and there's either people visiting there at the same time in the parks, or just the people who live in Orlando or in the area that might be at the parks, or say you call or text and meet up. Yes, it's never the same experience. One of one of the things before I even started a YouTube channel, and this would have been most of the 90s. Hello, Mike Miller. Thank you for joining. No problem. I just started the stream up. I know at 5 o'clock it's Dreaming with the Mouse with This Our Dream. So if you guys want to put the link in, you can. I was part of a internet group, news group, that was part, and a lot of them still connect. And I know there's a Facebook webpage and different things, but they were called Rec Art Disney Parks. And it got to be a lot of different other communities came out of it, where different guidebook people who wrote Disney guidebooks got together. I know a few of you use allears.net. The original founder, Deb Wills, and her team would put together different things. And I think they did it 2 or 3 years. They had something called a Mouse Fest. They kind of trademarked it. It was a big convention thing. The first year that I ever went to the big Mouse Fest as they had it at either the Swan or Dolphin Resort, but they had like Lou Mongello there, the guy who did the Hidden Mickey book. They're now defunct too, but the Passporter Guide owners, and people would put together meets in the park, scavenger hunts, and then on Saturday of the week, they would have a giant meetup, and you got to meet all the different people and have chats and different things like that. And there's a few that I still chat with about that and follow along. I don't know if some of you know Denise Mouse Steps. I know she was part of that, and sometimes I see her comment, but she's done pretty well. So, and I know, people want to meet the this and that guys, and the Beverly Challenge was a good time to meet up a lot of different people, and people are like, why can't you do a meetup or something? It does take time that if you were to try to find space with Disney, like renting out something, but then you would have to probably charge people to come and hang out or whatever. And, I understand, Disney doesn't like the big groups in the parks or whatever, but, if a few YouTubers that are willing to do some legwork, you could actually do a big meetup and maybe put things together at events. They used to rent out the illumination boats, so they'd make, different people would make up, get the reservations for the boats, and then once they got the boats, depending on how many people you can put in, I think you can put in up to 8 or 10 people, and everybody split the cost of the illuminations boats. So I did that like one night. I got on the list for one of the boats to see illuminations from the boats. So, and sometimes they would talk to the group dining and pick a character dining spot, and they were able to say get 15 spots for people, and you would put in and try, they say, yeah, I like to try to get in on that, or depending on how many people they would allow. They used to have, before it became, at 1900 Park Fair, before it became Cinderella's Royal Dining, I believe it was a Villains Dining venue. I don't know if anybody else remembers that. Mike might. I don't know if this are dreams, if you guys ever remember a Villains Dining at 1900 Park Fair. I remember there was Prince John, the Queen of Hearts. I can't remember what other villains were at the 1900 Park Fair with the group thing. In those days, the Adventurers Club was around. They would have a big meet at the Adventurers Club. So there's all kinds of different things. And then I've also seen other groups do big Disney meetups on the eastern side of Pennsylvania. Those groups and everything now are defunct, but they used to have a Disney Fest out east near Harrisburg, and they rented out a conference room at a hotel and put together various things for families and stuff. So it's been a pretty positive one. I mean, yeah, you meet up with the trolls on your channels or different people, and yeah, you do have to be careful. And, I'm sorry if I make you mad or whatever. I try to watch the chat and bring up topics for different people. There's all different people out there, and, and I try to bring the best that I can and, and read the chat and answer your questions. But sometimes if you get too annoying or something, it bothers other people. So, and you're always going to have the trolls that are, just want to be jerks and troll ya and be the thumbs down guy. Just remember though, when you're the thumbs down guy, you're interacting with my channel. What do your loved ones of you being on YouTube think? They just want me to be careful because you just don't know who is out there or who's watching or following you or whatever. Don't be that guy. Be like Mike Wheeler. Yes. So I hope I'm spreading the positivity and stuff. But I know, like I said, my family, they'll be like, "Well, you gonna do your trivia show yet?" And it's like, well, I gotta set it up, or if I have merchandise I want to share, or I just got back from Disney, or even back from somewhere else, and talk about it or whatever. So I try to respect other people. I know it's getting very tight trying to find time to even stream. I know I'm trying to get my hours, watch hours in, and find a niche of, when can I do my show, and do I just do it? And that's one of the things right now. I had a set time, but then, a couple different things. So, I have people, so I if you come, you come. And if not, then, whoever's there plays. And if there's nobody, then I just move on. How has YouTube Disney helped to bring the Disney magic into your life? That was the big thing. For me, a couple of years ago, before I actually had my kidney transplant, being on dialysis, and I could travel to Disney, but when you have a medical type of thing like that, there's a lot of planning before you could actually want to go and do that trip. Believe me, there was a couple times where I had trips ready to plan and look into it. Hello, Rachel. Thank you for joining. I hope you are well. No problem, Mike. I'm going to probably be jumping off soon, but that's fine. I'll probably be here closer to 5 o'clock. I don't want to... I know This Our Dreams will be going on with Myers and the Mouse with their Dreaming of the Mouse. But actually brought the parks to me. It was great seeing them because I hadn't gone since the Osborne lights ended, and that was one of my last big trips that I took down to Disney. But there were other things that I was doing at that time in between before I actually started dialysis, and I thought I could try to get a trip in, and there was like twice that I thought about it, but then they were more summer trips, and you had to think about the heat and how you react, plus try to find a place where you could get your treatment, and then how are you going to feel after the treatment and different things. I was always a person that when I'm at the parks, I'm usually there or at the resorts. Especially, I would have had people with me. No problem, Mike. I would have had people with me anyway. But for me, I really couldn't enjoy the swimming pool anyway. But and yeah, a good nap is good. But I would want to be in the parks or somewhere around the area. So, but that helped do that. It actually made me want to go back even more. So when I actually did get a small window, when I found out I was going to have a kidney transplant, I decided I would do kind of a quick trip because I knew I wasn't going to be able to go away right away. And it was just like, I need to go. So I went down for a quick trip right before my transplant. Got to experience Pandora and some of the newer things, the Toy Story Land. So it was a good time. So it does bring you the magic, especially if you can't get there to Disney all the time. Or some of you I know probably haven't been there since you were kids, or maybe you've never been there before. So it does show you, and yeah, you kind of wish you can go, because believe me, being when I was out, and even now, I know the parks are closed now, but once I get back home, I'm like, boy, I wish I was back there, or whatever. I will say I have been a lucky person that I could go at least once a year or once every 2 years, and sometimes twice in the year. I would say with 2019, I had a trip in June, so I got really lucky because I had a trip in June, 2 in August that were quick trips, and then a nice December trip. So that was 4 trips within a small time period. So I will say, yes, I was very lucky in that sense. And now I was anxiously awaiting for an April trip, but I think that's going to end up being on hold for me till the summer, see what's going to happen and what's going on and everything. I'm just waiting for the Run Disney like everyone else. Possibly, Noah. I haven't decided when. I'd like to try to go when there are various people there. A lot of times early June, I have a conference that I have to attend. But that would all depend on the climate of the year. But I know I am looking at summer, possibly 2 summer trips. The one might be like the Labor Day weekend and then the week after, but that'll be like end of summer, September type of trip, and then maybe something in June to try to catch some of the different people that go there that are from faraway places that I couldn't see or visit. So, but we'll have to see what the climate and everything is like at that time. Hopefully things will be up and going. Hopefully the prices don't go sky high on everybody. That's the only thing, you wonder with the small businesses and stuff, what'll happen here with all the different prices and grocery prices and stuff like that. Are you planning on going in June, Noah? Thank you for joining. Okay. In 97 days, yes. What are your other passions outside of Disney? Um, Most of the time, my passion is travel. Whether I really have never gone out. I've been out of the country. I've been out. I've been on like 2 cruises. So, and of course, I'm not going to say I haven't been out of the country because sometimes I tend to forget. Yeah, Canada. It's connected to the United States, and a lot of times I don't. I usually think of like going across the sea or the pond, but I've been to Canada, as a kid, and of course Niagara Falls and Toronto, because they're pretty couple hour, probably about 5 hours away from where I live. And I've been to Canada outside of Detroit. I've been on 2 cruises. That's more the Bahamas than anything. Um, so, so travel. I've been to the Grand Canyon, Las Vegas. Of course, I got to go to Disneyland for a day. I flew in from Las Vegas, went early morning from Las Vegas, spent all day at Disneyland. It was kind of strange. And this is before California Adventure was open. So that's one of the reasons why I'd love to get back to Disneyland. But it was kind of strange being there because it was kind of like a drizzly December afternoon day there. But there was hardly anybody there. And I got on most of the rides. But now that I see the parks from different people on streams and listening to Pepper Tree Villa talk about Disneyland and D&G Explorers and Juan Rodriguez and all of them, it's been making me really want to go. So that's a trip that possibly, hopefully, maybe happen, maybe like a fall or something like that. Thank you, Mike. But I also like sports. I like to go to sporting events at times. Of course, in my area, I grew up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, the Pittsburgh Pirates baseball. And then we had the Pittsburgh Penguins all these years. We still do. So going to the sporting events, whether it's on the high school level, college level, or professional level. I love college basketball. Yeah, that's the big thing with the no NCAA tournament. That was always fun to watch, and of course your brackets. But sports, the travel, and movies. Movies is another big thing. I love going to the movie theater. I know it gets expensive. I try to do matinees or go on the $5 days with AMC. So, but I love movies, and I worked at a movie store many years. So I own a ton of movies. I do have a VCR DVD combo player still. I'll have to search around and see if there's any more still out there on like Amazon or your eBay or something, because whenever those go or start just, I don't know, because I don't know what to really do with the VHS tapes that I have. I do have a lot of Disney VHS tapes. I actually have a couple of the gift sets. In fact, the one, if I open, they have the lithographs and stuff in there. But that's pretty much it. I try to think of different areas here in Pennsylvania or Ohio or West Virginia or even New York, to try to film and feature or go live from. So I really like a lot of activities. Obviously, you can see I try to stay active and all of that. What is your biggest dream for your channel? I never really thought about it. Just hopefully hanging in there, keep the different relationships or make them stronger. So yeah, I never really gave that too much thought. It was just more of like starting Brewer Works. It was more of like, okay, this is connecting me to all these different. Oh, no problem, no problem. I'm sorry. I just love that place. Oh yeah, the church brew works. Yes. Um, Whenever things get back to normal, Mike, I will definitely make a trip for you and possibly go live or make a video for you. The church brew works. So I'll definitely put that on my list for places to go see and do. But right now, like everything's all takeout. So, and I'm not sure if all those types of things take us. Hey, if you're still in the Berg, whenever things get back to semi-normal here, we'll go. In fact, I was sitting there thinking, how can we have a virtual dinner or get together or something, since we can't really get together in a sense, unless we took takeout and sat 6 feet away from each other, type of thing somewhere. But yes, Mike, I will look into that. Yeah, because I don't know what else you can do these days. Hopefully some of these, I know I listen to some of the parents on a couple of the DJs in the local radios here who have kids, and they're like, we shut it down or whatever. Or I have friends that have kids, and I'm sure they're climbing the walls and going nuts about now, because it hasn't been a full week, but they do get to go outside in their yard, but then they're back inside or whatever. And I'm like, well, don't they know how to FaceTime, or tell them to start a Facebook Live or a YouTube channel or something, and talk to their friends. Well, of course, doing the FaceTime Live so they could talk to their friends or something. Or get on the StreamYards or that Zoom or something. That way you can have chats with your friends. But I'm sure they know how to do that. Yes, Mike, it would be. Get StreamYard set up, invite different people, and you bring your food. And you eat whatever you guys all got. So yeah, you can do different things with that. But that was all the questions. I'm not really going to tag anybody, but if anybody would like the questions, I can get them sent out to you. But it was answer 15 questions about you and your Disney channel or your Disney YouTube channel. Because some channels, like I'm Disney, it was mainly because of Disney that I started it. But I also do other things just because I'm not right there in the area of Disney. But when I do go, I try to get as much film or go live. I know I can't wait to get back, because I'm probably going to live stream like crazy, because I want to learn where different spots are of lag and all of that stuff. I know some parks are easier than others. My problem is trying to make sure I'm holding on to my phone and everything like that, especially for rides. I know I was on a live stream that I rode Expedition Everest on, but some of the smaller rides, hopefully when the railroad opens back up, I'll do that. So, and also show some other areas of Orlando. There's a lot of stuff out in that area, and you can go show yourself on, if you don't mind heights, the Orlando, well, it's not the Orlando Eye anymore, it's called the Icon, Orlando Icon. But, there's all kinds of stuff on International Drive. Of course, Universal. Only thing with Universal is you can't film on the rides. But if you walked around for the first, after you rode whatever you needed to do in the morning, go live and show everybody the park. Or whenever you first enter, show City Walk, or maybe on your way out, show what City Walk looks like. Or, so there's all different stuff. I'm sure some of the areas in Orlando, though, that are outside of the Disney bubble or even Universal itself, yeah, it's probably kind of strange because that's the only thing that I run into sometimes. But I do see people at the local amusement park here in Pittsburgh that are going live or are filming with their items and stuff. Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. Need to get Jeff on this flyer down there by the Florida Icon. Yes, I'll tell you one ride that I did, and it after I did it, I was like, oh, I won't do that again. But in Las Vegas, they have the Stratosphere, and I did their big shot where they shot you up in the air, which is kind of like one of those tower things. But they actually had a roller coaster ride that went around the circumference of the tower base, and it went around, and I got talked into doing that. And after that, I said I won't do that again. That was just too freaky and scary, so I won't do anything like that again. But yeah, some of those I'm not too crazy about. I know at our local amusement park, I did the Sky Coaster, but that was many years ago when it first opened. Um, but it's one of those things. It's kind of like a bungee jumping type of thing, but you're not. You pull the cord and then you swing through the air type of thing. It was really cool and stuff like that, but I wouldn't do it again. I probably would if you know I was with some other people I knew or whatever. But it's more nerve-wracking thinking about the first, well, as you're going up and then that first thing. But once you're swinging, it's not too bad. But yeah, everything has a danger to it or whatever. So, but I love riding coasters and different things. Yeah, that's the only thing. I know a couple different people streaming from their homes and stuff like that now that are in Orlando, and I've seen a couple people out showing the deserted places. I know Nate was out on International Drive, but this was like when it first started. Jeff said he would do it for 4 packs of Oreos. I can arrange that, Jeff. Get you 4 packs of Oreos. I'll film you when you're down there. That's funny. But I'm going to go ahead and jump off. I do thank everyone who has joined. Make sure if you haven't already done so, hit that thumbs up button. I know This Our Dreams and Miles and the Mouse on their Dreaming with the Mouse is coming up. I believe the link is in the chat. It has been. So I do thank everyone or anyone who has watched. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit that thumbs up button. And I do thank everyone. I may see how things are going later tonight and do some trivia. If not tonight, I'll probably pick a time tomorrow, depending on who's all streaming and what time. But I do know I want to watch a couple of the, especially the Spilling with the Tea, because I know This Our Dreams is going to be on there, and a whole other group of people with the Mickey Bunch. So it'll be interesting to see what their topic is and what they all talk about. So that's all for now. So I do thank everyone. Yeah, there is a lot of people. I know Corey Meets World was going to do a home stream with him and Stephanie talking about questions and answers. And then I did see a few other. Oh, yeah, and Dean from the Live Place is doing his show, The Fifth Gate, with Rob Fuzz and Jim and More Sunshine. And I think there's some guests. I think Arnie might be on there. Plus Pepper Tree Villa does a daily dose of Disney at 6 p.m. So, yes, there's a lot of different choices. That's why I try to go late night. And if there's just too many choices, then I just hold off and pick another time. So I do thank everyone, and thank you for that reminder. Yes, we'll be there from 8 till 2. Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, a lot of times I just take the opportunity once somebody's done for the evening and there's not too many going on. But, yeah, Thursdays it's getting busy, and so is Fridays. And I know people like to watch Resort TV1, and then there's some other channels. But you know, sometimes you want to change it up, but or you watch other streams. But I just look around and see what other times. So, and if not, then I will see. Hopefully, not too many people on Saturday afternoon. So yes, have a great day, everyone. Have a great day, Mike. Thank you very much. And let the adventures begin. This is Amy of AJC Magic. Bye.